Well, hello, welcome back. I think it's pretty obvious what's going on here, isn't it? So this is my scrappy slow stitch quilt. Now obviously I can't get it all on the table, but I thought you would like to see how it's going, and we're waiting for the next Roxy's prompt, so here we are. So what you can see is that I've not gone completely to the edge because I need to join it. Now this is all one piece. I just cut straight off of the batting that I had, whereas this one is the one that you saw originally, which was two separate pieces. And as you can see, I've just done a sort of stab stitch all the way down to join it together, and I've gone over with my pieces. So I thought I could just show you how I did that, and then then we can look at joining the two pieces together. Now I'm sure there are people out there that are far more expert stitchers than myself, and you know, you'll find this quite boring and you'll know exactly how to do it, etc, etc. I'm just looking for a bit of this red. That's what I want. So where's my scissors gone? Here. And I'm really sorry because of course the minute I turn the camera on there's a load of noise outside. I do apologise. So we're going to put this there. Oh, can you see? Yes. Okay, so we'll move it over there a little bit more to make sure you can definitely see. So I'm just cutting off those bits, and then we want a nice long piece that's going to cover all these three and overhang the edge. So I'm going to snip it about there, and this is what I've done all the way along. I had a stack, as you know, of rectangles and squares, and I've just gradually been adjusting the sizes as I've been going through. Okay, and then I've just been sort of rough pinning it. So grab a few pins. Thanks to my lovely friend Denise, I am no longer on a pin hunt. When I saw her the other day, she supplied this beautiful cup and saucer with a pin cushion and one or two pins. She said she was fed up with watching videos where I couldn't find a pin. So fair enough. Thank you very much, much appreciated. In fact, there's a needle there. Let's put that needle in there. Right, so just rough pin I'm doing like that. Okay, and then where's my cotton gone? Here. Whoops, another pair of scissors. You see I've used an awful lot of cotton doing this. I think I might have to get another one, but it is what it is. So as I say, this is not, you know, going to be for everybody. A lot of you will be much better stitchers than I am, and will find this quite a headache in that it is so unplanned, so straight. You know, quilts these days are usually very square and precise, whereas this has got a much more primitive slow stitch scrappiness to it, and that's exactly what I wanted. I've made quilts as they're made today. Right, I need to turn this round. So turn it up there, make sure you can still see what I'm doing. Yes, of course you can. Right, and that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to go for this heirloom quilt where there was bits of dad's or granddad's pyjamas. They're not his shirts. I did get them from the charity shop, but you know, it just had this traditional feel about it, where someone had sat and slowly enjoyed hand stitching all of the pieces together. I'm not 100% sure, I think I said this before, about what I'm going to do with regard to quilting it, whether I'll hand quilt it or quilt it on the machine. I'm going to worry about that much nearer the time. But even if I do quilt it on the machine, ow, just stab myself with a pin, it'll be a very basic. Won't be anything fancy. I don't think it will go with the design of the actual quilt, and B, it's not what I want. So of course it's quite large to handle, which is why I'm still working in sections rather than the whole thing, because I do want it on my bed. Excuse me. And whilst I don't want it to hang right over and down the sides, I want it more of as a topper. I have got a king size bed, so it does need to be a fair size, and I just thought it would make my life easier, because I usually stitch it on my lap in the evenings in front of the telly. It would make my life easier if it was in smaller sections, and then I can just set to at some point and join all of those pieces together. Okay, so I'm not going to come across here because obviously it's supposed to be one piece, so I'm going to go back down in almost the same hole there. I'm going to just go around my needle with my thread, if I can find it. Where is it? There it is. 1, 2, pull my needle through so I get a nice knot, and then I'm gonna snip that off like so, get a new knot and join this last little bit together. I left it because I wanted you to see what I was doing. So basically I'm just coming through only the batting, and then I'm just picking it up and doing this sort of, I don't even know what it's called, but this stitch that joins it together without overlapping. So I'm butting the edges up together, yeah, like that. So I'm filming ahead as usual, although quite late, because it's actually Saturday evening. Hubby's just gone off out with Boo for her walk. We've been out most of the day at my daughter's. Hubby's been doing some work round there, so that's kept us busy. He's been up and down a scaffold and hammering and crashing and banging. And then we came home, had something to eat. No, we didn't, I'm lying. We came home, he got showered because obviously he was covered in building type dust. He was all hot and bothered. And then we had a quick dip in the hot tub, and then we had some dinner. We've watched a bit of telly, and now he's gone off with Bo. So you can see I've got to the end there, got it all connected, and then I just ran across the edge a little bit, and I'm, as I say, you know, real stitchers will be absolutely horrified at what I'm doing here, but it's what I'm doing. it's going to work. And then I've reached the point there where I want to come back up my stitching. So put it through. I did a like small fixing stitch. Got my needle through the thread now, that's no good, is it? Like that. And then I just did the large sort of running stitches all the way up. And this is what I've been doing every time. Oops. I did actually once sew it to my night dress, so if you're sewing on your lap, be careful with that. I've also sewn it to itself and created like a stitched fold, so it's not been without its trials and tribulations, and yet I thought I was doing an easy quilt. Okay, so back down there, because we've done the whole of that bit that we need to do at the moment. Coming through, wrapping round and cutting that thread off. Okay, real basic stuff. So now, nearly put the needle in my mouth. I can't tell if I've got the needle in my mouth, can I? If I put this, as it were, on my lap, you can see on this side I've got bits overhanging. We haven't got one there. We've just sewn that red one on there. So what I'm going to do now is bring in this piece. I just want to check which way round, that way. So I'm going to bring in this piece, fold these flaps over. Line it up there, and then this piece is going to go over there. Now, I haven't actually planned that very well because look, I'm putting that bit on that bit, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. This is where obviously my desk is nowhere near big enough really for what we need to do. You see? And that's going to work like that. And we're going to need obviously a piece to go on here. So the ideal piece to go on this end would be one of the blue flower pieces. So that's a bit big, isn't it? So what I would do in this case is take the piece that I've got, line it up like that, pin the bottom bit in place, okay, and then work out where I want it to go. So I want it to go to about there. So I'm just going to do a little snip and pull it off. Simple as that. Okay, make sure that you haven't got a gap on your join, because that is one of the things that I had to be very careful of. Bring that over, and then I'm going to put a pin there to make sure I've caught that. But you see I have got a split again, so you do need to be careful. You need to line it up and see if we can't grab it without picking it up, and then it might be all right. I do another one there and hopefully get both sides. Yeah, see, there you go. Awesome. So then I'm going to do this one as well. So pin there, pin there, pin there, Oh, someone's got a barbecue or a bonfire or something going. You can definitely smell burning wood. Right, and then we sort of have to stop at that point, and then we can add another bit on, you see. So where's my needle gone? With all my threading. There it is. Okay, and then I'm just going to start on this blue one, just because it's right in front of me and easy. So get under the split, I'm gonna, and then just stitch this onto here while pressing it down onto my desk. It does make it a little bit difficult to get a straight line of stitching. I don't even know if you can see that now, and I can't get up because I've got it on my lap, so I hope you can. Just stitch that up there. And then pull my pin out. It's just very, very slow stitching, which, you know, we all love, and it's just, well, I don't want to say not caring, because I do care, because I want it on my bed and I want to love it, but I'm just not being like overly fussy or pretentious about, oh no, I pulled the needle out, about the way it sits together, if that makes sense. And of course I'm struggling a bit because it's not fitting on my desk under the camera, and there's so much of it I don't even know if you can see me stitching or if you're just sitting there looking at patchwork. So it is what it is. See, and I have been going backwards and forwards and getting a few, but with this needle it's a bit, it's not the needle I was using last night. I don't know what I've done with that one. So how are you all anyway? Are you like hubby? Have you been using some of your weekend to do jobs that you can't do during the week because you have to earn a crust, as it were? Or have you taken time out and had a nice day out, or just relaxed at home? I know my youngest daughter took her 2 children, that's not the house where we were at, to experience a public library for the first time today, which I think is lovely. I mean, they're only young, so that was good to get them, you know, a library card and let them choose a book. I mean, they've got loads of books at home, but it's just the experience of using the public library, because Elliot's obviously, well, not obviously, but Elliot's now at school, so he gets a library book each week at school. But of course, being on summer holidays, there is no weekly library book, so that's really crooked. That's because I'm stitching towards me. I find that very difficult to do. Mum thought she'd take them and get them signed up and, you know, just enjoy the experience of choosing a book and taking it home to read. So you can see there, look, that's now together. Oh, and I've pulled the needle out again. So get some more thread and we'll do the next little bit, and so we carry on just going, building it up, and it gets bigger all the time. Got no idea how big it is at the moment, and I do have lots of you lovely subscribers telling me off for being such a long thread person, and telling me that's why my thread gets so much tension and twisting in it. Can't help it, it's just the way I roll, it's, as they say. I like, oh, what's happened there? There we go. I like a long thread, so that's what we're doing. It would be nice if I had thought and planned out my pieces more so that we didn't necessarily have this overlap, but in the overall scheme of things it's such a small issue, I'm not gonna stress it. So we need to come up here. There we go. Right, like that. So I've now finished all of my squares for the, oh goodness me, what is it called? The Great Big Tiny Stitchery or something along those lines. I've finished all my squares, I've posted them out. I've had quite a few in, probably about half I think. So I'm gleefully waiting for others, and I mean they're all amazing. But what strikes me most about them is how we all have such very different styles. I mean, yeah, we all had to work on a 4-inch square, and obviously it was a slow stitch square, and we did ask our various swap partners if they had sort of colour preferences. Colour fragrances, what's that about, Claire? Colour preferences and things like that, but in the main we were just left to our own devices to produce a slow stitch square that hopefully would be of interest and enjoyed by a swap partner, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm quite sad actually that my part of it is over now, because I've done them all, and it's not fair to try and get other people to do more with me, because obviously it's got to be done by the end of August, and we've all got, you know, busy lives, we've all got things to do, we've all got a set schedule. So I'm just gonna spin this round a little bit. There we go, because I can stitch better at that angle. So yeah, that wouldn't be fair. So yeah, I'm quite sad that my little bit of it is over now. I'm going to find something else. Well, I must admit I've enjoyed it so much, I might just carry on doing squares of my own, you know, almost like these just because squares that I could then I don't know, perhaps make a mini quilt. Or so then what I'm going to do is go underneath there and start doing my straight up line, hoping that because in the main I'm working on the blue and white with red thread that you can see what I'm doing. Like so. So get a nice long line. So yeah, so that's about all I have to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. Give it a little smooth out. That's it. Right, and then I need to come back in here and across and see, I need to get my join there. So just putting a pin through the back there to make sure it stays together, because I don't want to stitch it and find I've got a big gap. So I'm just feeding up and down, you know. So easy to do in front of the telly in the armchair. It's nice. When I do my when I do my squares and things, I tend to do them here at my desk on my little grey mat, which is great, but then you tend to find that, you know, you start getting tired, so then you want to stop and go and relax, as it were. So this has been a little godsend in that. Can't see where I am. In that sorry, I probably pulled it off camera because I was trying to line that up. Yeah, it's just so nice to sit and stitch in the armchair, really. Right, so I've got that there. Come across here now. Pull that one out. Pull that one out. So yeah, I'm just stitching. Sorry, I'm not very talkative. Right, that's because I go into this like meditative state. I just love it so much, and I just find it so calm. I just go off in my own little world. Whoops, we got a twisty knot. See, and that's because I'm the long thread brigade. Wasn't the long thread brigade? Right, now we're going all the way round. You see, and this is where it keeps getting turned round so that I can handle the stitches going in different directions. It's fine on your lap. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. And it's a chilly evening because it's on your knees while you're stitching. Keeps your lap warm. And we have seemed to have been jumping here from boiling hot days, boiling hot summer days to winter days, all in the same sort of day. The other day I was walking around in very lightweight clothing, putting the washing out because it was sunny. 5 minutes later I was rushing out there, bringing the washing in because it was pouring hard, and then putting a jumper on because it was cold. I mean, all in the space of about an hour. It's absolute balmy weather right now. And I know I shouldn't really complain because in places like Greece, they've got real issues, and thank goodness, you know, we don't have them. My heart does go out to them all. I can't imagine it. But I say but as if it doesn't matter. I was just going to say, but like, you don't fully understand what you don't live in, if that makes any sense. There you can see the back there, look, there's a little bit off there, but it's not too bad. I can bring that back together. So I've shown you how it's getting on. I've shown you how I'm joining the back together, because obviously it's pieces of wood in, and I've shown you how I'm over flipping the pieces on the front. Let's take that pin out now. So you've got an idea of exactly what is going on with it now, those of you that were interested. So I'm then obviously just going to work my way across and do this entire seam. So got it there. And I don't know if you can see that corner there, but that's going to go. See, and I've got blue flower on blue flower again there, so I didn't necessarily plan it very well. And of course that's the thing with making, you know, a traditional quilt. You would have, there's a pin under there, making a traditional quilt you would have had all your pieces planned out, but this is not one of those. And I don't mind that they're overlapping actually. Now we've got an odd bit there that we obviously need to fill in. Right, so what I'm going to do is start to roll it up on itself now. So we roll that bit over so it's out of the way like that, and I can work on this piece. So I need a small square. What about the blue flowers? Oh no, see, because that's blue flower again. Oh my goodness. So we're going to have to use the small blue flower. That's what we'll use. And that will sit on there like that. On my scissors, that's going to get trimmed about there, like so. And then that is just going to sit there, and that will join it together there. And that's how we're, as it were, covering up our seams. It's going to need a really good press flat at some point, but at the moment I'm just making sure that wadding's next to each other, not got a big gap, not overlapping. That's that piece and that's that piece, you see. So that's them two, and then I come along here and we're almost at the end, so we'll roll that up like that. Okay, get the cotton out of the way. So that one goes, that's what I thought, that's not going to work. Where's the other pin? Because this piece that I've got here is not quite wide enough, and there has been a little bit of this, there's been a little bit of jiggery pokery, so it sits, and I notice there's a thread there that shouldn't be. Right, let's try that again. That one goes there. That one is definitely overlapping that one. So that one goes there, and there, and then that one goes all the way up there on that one. So pin that there, and then we'll need a bit there at the end. Right, but we need to work on this bit, and that piece that I just pulled off, and I've got no idea what I've done with it. We need to start again. So it's that, isn't it? It's not big enough. So we want another flower. No, it's a small. Here's a big. Is this a big flower, or is this a? It's the right fabric. It's not wide enough. This one's wider. Look at that. That's better, isn't it? So we want to come in there, and I want to go to about there. I'll use all these pieces up, don't worry. Right, that's now going to go there. So I used all those pins that I had out, so I'll just repin this one. And that is how I'm going to carry on all the way along. So obviously if you've got the gist, if you even cared and wanted it, and you need to be rushing off rather than just sitting here watching me stitch, it's not the most, you know, enthralling thing, then obviously you've got the information and you can potter off and do what you need to do. If you're just enjoying sitting here watching, then hey ho, stick around and I'll try and think of something interesting to say while I'm doing it. Right, needle, and here we go again. Now, as well as rolling this over that way, I'm going to roll the bottom up a little bit so that I can lean in a bit better. I think that's going to be easier. So I'm coming down towards me. These are the lines that are never very straight, which is why I usually like to turn it around. For some reason I can't stitch towards myself. So surprised actually, I've just realised what the time is. Surprised hubby's taken Boo already. He's obviously not admitting that all that manual labour he did earlier made him a bit tired. Because normally it doesn't take until about 9 o'clock when it's much cooler and there's a lot less people around. And yet it's only just gone 7. So, See, I said I'd try and find interesting things to talk to you about. It's not interesting, is it? Sorry. Oh dear. Whoops, now my wall's escaping on my thread. Right, so we're working on this one here, this blue one. Here's my needle. Just going to keep going. Take the pin out and just feed. Am I nearly punching you in the eye again? I'm sorry. I am conscious that being part of the long thread brigade does mean that I do occasionally poke you in the eye. Right, and then going round again, just find it easier. So now we can take this one out and feed up and down here. Oh, do you know what? I think this must be really boring for you. So I'm probably just going to finish this square and then I'm going to toddle off and let you get on. If you was enjoying it and you didn't want me to go, sorry. I just feel like, as much as I love doing it, I can't imagine it's very therapeutic to watch. So, and if you were very disappointed and you wished I'd have stayed, let me know in the comments, and then next time I won't worry about it. I'll just stay and stitch. It'll probably be mainly silent video though, because I've got nothing to say really that I haven't already said. That is one of the reasons that I do sometimes do short videos, because for me personally, I love the videos where people talk to you and share stuff with you. They just, you know, whereas I'm not doing that because I've got nothing to say, love. Nothing to say. Right. Okay. Give that a good stretch back out. You can see the knot where we started. 1, 2. Poke it through. Oh, didn't mean to do that, did I? See? There you go. Trim it off with one of the many pairs of scissors that are on the desk. Poke that in there. Now you can now see that we've basically joined the two together. I need to obviously carry on down here. This is not completely finished, but look, that's the line where the you know, the batting is, and you would never know because we've stitched over it. There you go. As always, I'm going to say, because at the moment, how big is this? Let's have a little look, shall we? So it's 12, 24, 36. So it's 3 foot across, and it's 1, 2, roughly 3 foot high. So it's sort of 3 foot square, and I think I need it to be about 5 foot square, maybe 6. So it's not that far to go. We'll see. We'll keep at it and see where we end up. So as always, I'd like to say a huge thank you for you taking time out of your busy day to spend with me. I hope you've enjoyed watching me stitch, even if it only gives you a giggle that I was getting in such a tune knot because I kept turning it around. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.